Spoilers ahead for the entire movie. I just watched the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 movie, and I'm going to give my review on it. Well, first of all, Faz Fest wasn't really as important as people thought it was. As in the trailers and stuff and previews, they worked up Faz Fest to be this really, really big important thing, but it's barely important to the movie. You probably could have cut it from the film and nothing really would have changed at all, as there's only a few scenes at the event. We barely see anything at there, and there's like, and during the three scenes we're at there, they last for like a minute each, and and there was only ever two break-ins in the movie, as in the trailers it made it seem like the toy animatronics were going to go around breaking into a bunch of homes and killing people. They're breaking into two homes, but nobody dies. They try and kill an older couple, which, from what it seems, were one of the couples at the 1982 Freddy's location where Charlotte died. And then they break into another house, and which with a parent that clearly isn't a parent from the 1980s. So it's just breaking into random people's houses. But neither of these people die at all. And these people die at all. And it only, like I said, only two people get their houses broken into. When it turned to look like a lot more people are going to die, and that a lot more houses are going to get broken into. There'd be like mayhem and chaos all across town. And really, there isn't any of that, really. It's like a block, basically. It might as well be. Not as much gore and death as you would have thought. Only like around 4 people die in the film. The three investigators, Charlie, Charlie, and forget them, and Charlie, really. Now, the most gory death in and the one teacher. 5 people die in the movie, and the most gory death is when it doesn't make any sense. One of the paranormal investigators is in the little river at the old Freddy's, and a bunch of tiny little marionettes appear at the bottom of the river. Then he gets like pulled into it, and we see a bunch of blood coming out of the water. Like, how did they kill him? Like, did they eat him? They don't have mouths. Like, that death makes no sense at all. Like, they're like dolls, like plastic. I mean, I don't know. Like, they pull him down in there, and we see like a bunch of blood coming from the water, like they were eating like piranhas would eat a person. So that doesn't really make any sense much at all. And the movie ending sucks as well. Because when the movie ended, I was like, what? Because I was like, what's going on? Like, when the movie ended, I didn't realize that was an ending. The ending didn't feel like it was an ending. It felt like we were at like the halfway point of the movie, like a little bit past the halfway point. It didn't feel like this was the end of the film. It was abrupt. It was really abrupt. The way it ended, it didn't feel like that's where it should end. It felt like there should be like at least 30 more minutes of this movie. It didn't feel like this was the end point, and it goes off on a cliffhanger as well. And the big whole thing, both at the start of the movie and later near the end of the movie, about Abby reuniting with her old friends, the animatronics from the first movie. It's a big part of the first half of the movie, and they do come back in the end of the movie, but like they're there, then they're gone. Like, they're basically useless. They only really come back when they need somebody to save them from toy animatronics, really. The second the toy animatronics are dead, they just die and go off to heaven. Like, they were only there for like 5 minutes tops. Not even that. And they're poor. The whole Abby even goes back to the pizzeria. At the start of the movie, that's just so you can find the fast talker and stuff. And of course, and we know in the movie that Charlotte is the one controlling the toy animatronics and possibly even the Withers as well. But how did she know about Abby? And how did she communicate with the fast talker? Like, how did she how? Because she's been stuck there for like 20 years. How does she know about the new location? Or able to get in contact with Fast Talker, know who Abby is, all that stuff, Like, I just find that kind of confusing. She's been there for like 20 years, knowledge about the second place, and I don't know. It felt like the movie should have had 30 more minutes, really, because the ending was just like, what the heck? I did not realize the movie was ending when it ended, and also the inclusion of Michael Afton. Like, what the heck? We already have Mike Schmidt in the movie. Why would you bring in Michael Afton? And then had the audacity to make him a bad guy. Yeah, sure, in the games he killed his brother, but he didn't mean to kill his brother. It was an accident. It was a prank gone wrong. And he spent the rest of his life trying to undo the evil works of his father, and ultimately died while trying to end the horrors of Freddy's and end the store and end off all these evil people for once and for all, and to free the souls of these trapped little children. But no, to make him a villain in the movie. And what the heck? We were bringing in Michael Afton. It makes things confusing. Michael, Mike. What the heck? And we know, and in the end of the first film, William Afton refers to Mike Schmidt as Michael Schmidt. I mean, it just makes things even more confusing. Yeah. Really, like he appeared at the start, near the start of the film, they disappears. It's basically just gone up until the very end of the movie. Like was there for like a few minutes, gone absolutely useless. So till the very end of the movie, and then he just gets knocked out by Jeremiah, Mike's friend, and then when they're leaving, he's just gone again. He just tries to escape, and bam, he gets hit. He's gone. And then also when Vanessa's having her dream, and she's inside of William's workshop, guess who shows up? Circus Baby. Yeah, it's just Circus Baby. She runs into Circus Baby, and she's like working too, like moving, like active. She doesn't attack or anything. She like turns and looks at her. But like, what the heck? Circus Baby's there now? Are we bringing in FNAF's sister location? We're bringing in FNAF's sister location? I thought this was adaptation of FNAF 2. No, we're bringing in FNAF's sister location. That's what. This is one of the only things that FNAF plushes own. But it just happens to be on around because she shows up. Baby shows up. Like, what the heck? Well, why? Like, maybe it's a cameo, but it's a cameo that doesn't make sense at all for the context of this movie. FNAF sister location was 3 games away. Three games and 1 year away. It was a 5th game released a year later, because that's how fast Scott Coppin gets. 2 years. 3 games and 2 years. 3 games and 2 years later. Circus Baby just appears out of nowhere randomly, and she's there for a little bit, but still, just what the heck? Why did she just appear so randomly? And it's just kind of all confusing. Half of it doesn't really make sense, so I'm going to have to give it a 5.5 out of 5. Maybe a 5 out of 10. A 5.5 out of 10. Yeah, 5.5 out of 10. Not a 6 out of 10, not a 5 out of 10. 5.5 out of 10. So that's like a D minus. 5.5. Then a D plus. A D plus. It's just barely a passing grade, really. The first movie is good, but one good thing I do have to say about this movie that set up the third film, very great. The way to set up the third film was great. That's the one great thing I can say about it. In a mid-credit scene, we see a couple of fellas break into Freddy's and start looting the place to open up an attraction to collect new artifacts. Then they come across Springtrap, and they don't show up to the very, very, very end, which was pretty. And we see him. He looks just like how he looked in the games. Actually, not exactly. More like the modern interpretations of it. But we see Springtrap. It looks pretty game accurate. But of course, you can't see all the stuff in there because, of course, you're in a movie. They would see all that stuff. Like, what the heck? But they set up the third film really, really, really great. And there's like this, the cassette tape being heard at the very, very end of the movie when the credits are ending, where we hear Henry getting attacked by his daughter Charlie. But like, also, first of all, she got put to sleep by the music box. We literally see that happening after she possesses Abby. They use the music box and she just goes back to sleep, but all of a sudden she's back. Did like when the toys break in, they end up breaking it, because all of a sudden she's back and she randomly possesses Vanessa. Yeah, she just randomly possesses Vanessa because the pup can possess people and stuff, like full on possess people. And then we hear Henry getting attacked by probably possessed Vanessa, so I guess she's kind of dead. And clearly they're trying to set up Mike Schmidt and Vanessa being a thing together, but they really go nowhere with it. Like, it really does go nowhere. And if anything, their relationship is more splintered and tattered by the end of the second film. Actually, yeah, it is. So are we saying that we're going to wait till the end of the third film to see these people get together? Because I'm not waiting till the end of the third film to wait to see these people get together. And unless the third film picks up immediately where they left off, if there's some kind of time skip, it's not gonna be satisfying. It's like, what the fudge? What the heck? Like, you leave off on like a cliffhanger, and on a cliffhanger where you drive off, they're going to go somewhere, or exactly they're going, we don't know. And we see Vanessa get possessed. You can't just time skip to a year later, by explaining what happened to Vincent. She got presented. Where did they drive off to? You know, there was a satisfying conclusion to the first film. So what the heck is all this? The movie's kind of it's mid, 5.5 out of 10. It's 5.5 out of 10, man. 5.5 out of 10. I'm gonna stay here now. 5.5 out of 10, man. That's all I gotta say. Movie's kind of mid. Saw it like 2 hours ago. Okay. It's been so long and that was good. And Shadow Bonnie made a brief cameo. Pretty good. And at least they clarified in the movie timeline what the Withers were. The Withers were prototypes. They were prototype animatronics, and they used the prototypes for spare parts for the toys. In the game, we still don't know what the Withers are. We don't know what the Withers animatronics are, but in the movies, at least they clarified it. They're prototype animatronics. They're prototypes for the toys, which are the first ones. And at least we don't know if we know how many kids died at this other location. One child died. We don't know how many people died at that location in the games universe. Could have been 5, could have been 6. Charlie could have died there. We don't know if Charlie died there in the games. At least this movie clarifies stuff, unlike the games. That's just things you have to do for a movie. You can't be that big in a movie, unlike with a game. The games. That's just basic writing stuff. Anyways, that's all I gotta say, really. Well, bye. Have a nice time.